Namaste, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining. As always, please practice according to your conditions and be respectful of your limitations. If you know the variations, you're familiar with the practice, and feel free to, but please modify if you're not sure, or be mindful in your practice. As always, the practice is an offering, so we offer the best of the best, and we try not to go to a place of pain or suffering or anything else that we wouldn't want ourselves, we don't want to transmit to others. How we're feeling is to an extent affecting everybody. So on that note, with that intention, let's begin. So start by closing your eyes, sitting up tall and supremely still. Close the eyes. Before creation, what existed? God was always there in the midst of it all, and will still be there even beyond the ends of this universe. Merge with that divine essence as within and all around. Start with the sound of Om 3 times to attract divine attention. Imagine you are everywhere. Fix your mind on God alone. Rest your thoughts in God alone. And in God you will live hereafter. Of this there is no doubt. Om Namah Shivaya, about the inner light. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Sorry. Namah Shivaya. I am not this body is not me. 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 Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. I am neither body nor mind, immortal self am I. I am neither body nor mind, immortal self am I. I am neither body nor mind, immortal self am I. I am neither body nor mind, immortal self am I. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. May all beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering and enjoy this practice through our senses. May the Lord bestow upon us the fruits of knowledge, and may we always have a strong desire for those fruits of knowledge that liberate us from pain and suffering. And may we always have no ill feelings against each other, only peace, love, joy, and compassion. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So now let's do some breathing, alternate nostril breathing. This is a very beneficial breathing that you can do at any time. It balances out the energies, it settles the mind into stillness, it prepares it for meditation. So the ratio, we're going to do the Shivananda style. So no set rhythm. You just try to keep the inhales and exhales about the same duration, and the breath is as long as you can hold it comfortably. So for the breath retention, we apply the throat and a root lock. The root lock, we contract the root muscles, pull them up towards the navel. Imagine you're lifting the whole pelvic floor up and squeezing it up and in. And then for the throat lock, as you inhale, we're raising the chest up. And so that on the hold, we can just bring your chin down without hunching the back. We don't want this to happen. Okay, so keep your shoulders down, but just bring your chin down onto the chest. The tongue comes to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth to seal off the lock, and the attention's at the space between the eyebrows, the seat of divine perception. The left hand in Jnana Mudra, second finger and thumb connected, other three fingers extended on the left knee, right hand, second, third fingers fold down. This is Vishnu Mudra, where you turn the palm towards us. It becomes the mudra that we use for pranayama. It's no longer Vishnu Mudra at this point. The thumb for the right nostril, the right ring finger for the left nostril. So we'll just do it the first couple together, and we pretend we're holding the breath as long as you can. But when you go on your own, you can hold the breath as according to your condition, according to your abilities and capacity. So sit up nice and tall. Exhale, completely empty the lungs. Close off the right side, inhale to the left. Remember to fill the chest. Now hold the breath, plug both sides of the nose. All the attention to the space between the eyebrows. Remember, throat lock and root lock. Everything stops, all the mind fluctuations, all the movements of the body, and the emotions as though they're frozen. Be like the witness watching the body doing the exercises. Now exhale through the right side, slowly let go of all the tension, let go of the locks. Now inhale, fully as you can, raise the chest, again, plug the nose, hold the breath, chin on the chest, root lock as well, contract the root muscles, pull them up towards the navel, contract the buttocks. Exhale slowly out, release the locks. Inhale again. Go up to the fullest capacity you can, raise the chest, hold the breath, throat lock, root lock, all the attention to the space between the eyebrows. If your mind starts to wander away, just be like the witness, stay unconcerned, unjudging. Just pull your mind back to the pranayama. Exhale out to the right side, gradually. Inhale to the right as gradually as you did the exhale. Hold the breath. Try to make the mind one pointed on the center of the tension, which is at the center of the forehead. The seat of divine perception. Now exhale out through the left side. Softly let go of the locks and the tension. Continue on your own. Imagine all beings experiencing this through your body, so do it
with mindfulness, do it with reverence, do it as an offering. Do it because it must be done, your divine obligation. It's important to check out all the experiences. We have something to gain and to learn from everything. Even those that are not pleasant, those that may not be so fun. Learn to remain completely the same in the mindset and the temperament, no matter what you're passing through. What you're passing through is just the gunas that are throwing into different states. Just dance with it all, as Dharmaji says. Be grateful, even to exist, so you can experience everything. You're given strong tools through the practice that will help you on your path to attaining self-realization as the ultimate goal. And this pranayama is what draws you into the higher realms of the practice, where you learn to concentrate and meditate, and with meditation you improve your discernment abilities to realize what is real and what is not real, what is truth and what is illusion. Or what is real and what is illusion. Once you've exhaled out of your left side, next, conclude. Take your time. No rush. Finish the cycle completely. And whenever you're done, just sit quietly with your hands in Jnana Mudra, both hands on the knees, sitting tall and still again. Spend a little bit of time every day meditating, reflecting. One day spent in meditation or reflection upon compassion and fixing your mind on the infinite being that is with all boundlessly compassionate has great, great value. So now, let's begin the practice. We're putting the compassion into action through the imitation of forms. Put yourself in the shoes of that form. Merge with them and try to see the infinite qualities, the divine qualities within each and every form. They are a reflection of the highest self, which is within, which is the God, the divine essence within. So let's come to standing now. So now let's start off with your feet about 10 inches apart. Bring the arms up, the palms slightly facing upwards. Spiritual breathing to establish a deeper connection with the divine within. From the fingertips, inhale, the best down through the arms into the heart. 2, 3, 4. Feel as though you're being flooded by all that positivity. 6, 7, 8. Holding in the heart, the spiritual heart, locating the right side of the physical heart and the center of the chest. Now exhale up through the fingertips. Everything that you pulled in stays within. 2, 3, just breath leaves out with the exhale. 7, 8, and inhale again. Pull the best of the best down through the arms into the heart, spiritual heart. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Holding it at the heart. Hold the breath. 5, 6. Exhale out through the arms again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One last time. Inhale. Bring in everything you need. Imagine it coming in, flooding you in, flooding right into you. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it in the spiritual heart. Hold the breath. Exhale out through the arms. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now bring the arms down now. We'll continue the exercises to prepare the body for the practice. So pretend you're the witness watching the body moving always. And when you see the witness, when you imagine yourself moving gracefully and fluidly and powerfully, this may realize in your movements. Good. And then slow it down and bring your hands on the hips and circle the head. Make large circles as possible. Of course, this is not suitable for you. You can just do half circles from one ear. The chin comes across just the other side. And the ear comes to the shoulder on that side and the back the other way. Otherwise, try to see the floor in all directions as you take the head around and around. And then switch the direction. So if you're doing half circles, you can start one ear and allow the back of the head to brush across the top of the back until the other ear reaches the other shoulder. All of this feels as though the head were very heavy, just rolling all the way around the neck, like a big ball. And now from here, right arm swings forward, and then go backwards now. Make it so you're about to throw a ball, winding up. And then the other arm, left arm. And then go backwards. Bring your arms in front of the body and circle them in opposite directions. Come back to the center and change the direction. And from here, arms up over the head. Take hold of the opposite elbows and bend to your left. Go to the right. Push hips out towards the left. And then go left to the right. Come back to the center. Good. And then from here, little circles of the head, neck, and shoulders mostly. And start to make the circles larger, starting to feel the sensations coming into the waist as you bring the chest and the upper back into the movement. And finally, the whole torso circles, makes large circles in front of the body like a big airplane propeller. The forearms brushing across the feet. Good, and coming back up, and then go in the opposite direction, starting off small again. Head, neck, and shoulders mostly. And then start to make the circles gradually larger, adding in the chest and the upper back into the movement. And then large circles. Fold at the hips. Swoop down. One more. And coming all the way back up. And then release. Move the fingers very, very rapidly, like you have no control over the hands. They're moving all by themselves. And then up and down, flapping like the wings of a hummingbird. So fast, you can't even see them moving. They're like a blur. Good. And then the next one. Arms out to the side. You can always come to a wall, and bring your left hand on your wall or on a chair, and then swing the right leg back and forth. So allow the legs swing loosely, loosen up the hip. Come forward on the as your leg comes forward, so your knee can come right to the shoulder. Maybe the shin hits the forehead as well. And then the other leg. So now you switch directions or switch your hands and then go to the other side. And then release. Okay, so now, let's see, I think just one more. You have to press into the toes as you lift your heels. Engage the muscles of the thighs and the shins and the core as you lift up. So starting with your head down in humility pose. Inhale, start to rise up. 2, 3, lift up the heels, the hands up over the head. And exhale, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. Inhale, rise up gracefully and come up higher. Lift up off your heels. Exhale, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. Inhale. Feel the arms folding up by themselves and come up higher. And then exhale, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. Inhale. Come up higher. Lift all the way up. Exhale, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. The chin down on the chest again, the gesture of humility. Stay in that mindset of benevolence as you move through the practice. Think of the practice as your divine obligation to all beings everywhere. And be a servant to all beings through your practice, through your service. So now let's come to the front of the mat. Hands at the heart center. Surya Namaskara. Offer everything up to God and to all beings everywhere, for God is within all beings. Raise your arms up over the head, reach up and back. Fold forward. Hands on the ground. Bend your knees if you need to bring your hands on the ground. Right foot back, lower down the knees, sink down through the seat. Into the plank. Bring the knees down and seat all the way back behind the heels. Now glide forward into Cobra. All the way back. Bring the seat all the way back behind the heels. Come forward again, brush your nose to the ground. Slide forward and then coil. Right back. You have to try to pretend you're a snake. Slide forward. Raise the head, shoulders back. Be regal and wise, cool and collected. Imitate the snake on all levels, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Now downward facing dog. Allow the hips to come up, the head to come down. Right foot steps forward to the hands. If that's difficult, you can lower the back knee down. If your foot doesn't make it all the way, just use your right hand to assist it forward. Now push the seat in. And then the feet come together, Uttanasana, chest on the thighs, head down. Come right up to standing, reach up over the head. And then come home, hands to the hearts. Raise your arms up. Arch back, engage the buttocks and upper back to support you in movement. Back down we go, chest on the thighs, head down. Left foot back, lower down the knees, sink down to the seat. Push the shoulders back to keep the chest nice and open. High plank, knees down, the seat back. Come forward again. Into the cobra. Take the seat back once again. Don't worry about the breath. Just move the body in a way that allows the breath to remain steady and even. The breath will figure out what to do and deliver power and ease and fluidity in your movements. Adho Mukha Savasana. Lift the seat, allow the head to come down. And then the left foot forward, back knee down, sink down to the seat. Feet come together, Uttanasana. Come right to standing, reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. And a gesture of, universal gesture of offering and gratitude. Raise your arms up. Go down, Uttanasana. Right foot back. This time keep the back knee lifted if you can. Into the high plank. Bring the knees down, the seats back, and this time
As you come forward, swing right up into upward facing dog with your hips and knees up off the ground, shoulders back. All the way back. If you can, however, you can bring your knees up and try to swing through without touching the hips and knees to the ground in between. You have to pull the elbows into the body and then push through with your toes and heels, your palms one more time with the modification, or try to come right up into upward facing dog. Be mindful of your shoulders and your strength and your limitations as always. Adho Mukha Savasana. Right foot forward, back knee stays lifted. Stay strong through the back leg. And then bring it forward all the way alongside the other one. Uttanasana. Come right up to stand, reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. Bury your mind deep in the heart. Watch the body move with more grace and ease and steadiness. Pull the body down. All the postures made, the practice made more magnificent when you're offering it up. Take keep the back knee up into plank. Again, bring the seat back, and again, you can do the modification by pushing the knees down and then lifting up the hips and knees away from the ground for upward facing dog, or trying to do it without dropping your hips and knees in between at any point until you arrive at upward facing dog. All the way back, the seat back, and then come forward. Pull the elbows again into the sides wide. Push through with your toes, heels your palms. Lift your head, bring it back over the seat. Adho Mukha Savasana. Bring the seat all the way back. Head comes down. Soft line in the back. Left foot forward, back knee nice and lifted. Back leg strong. And then bring the foot in to meet the other one. Uttanasana. Come right up to standing. Reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. Raise your arms. Go back. Come forward. Uttanasana. Right foot back. Lower down the knees. Sink down to the seat. Into the plank. Knees, chest, and forehead down. Come into cobra or upward facing dog. You can do any variation that you like without touching knees to the ground, or you can just slide on your belly into downward facing dog. And then right foot forward, back knee lifted or down if you like. Feet together, modify again, in other words, according to your condition. Come right up to standing. Hands back to the heart. Just do your best. Offer the best that you can. Reach up and pull the body down. Uttanasana. Left foot back into the plank. Down we go. The knees back. The knees down the seat all the way back. Into cobra or upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Now left foot steps forward. And then the feet together. Uttanasana. Come right to standing, arch back. Hands back to the heart. Another variation this time. Raise your arms up over the head. These are all just done to warm up the body. Lift hand, chest, press into your hands. Hop or walk back. If you're hopping back, just try to bend your elbows as you come back so you don't land heavily. No big jar motions. You're either right on the ground or hovering just above the ground. And now into upward facing dog. Now if you like, you can bend your toes under, push your hips a little bit further forward between your hands, and now pulse. Make as though you're trying to fold the body in half. The hinge at the tops of the legs. Make like a dog howling at the moon. Keep on pulling the body by the hips. You don't get a big fold across the lower back or the back of the neck. Telescope the neck and the shoulders. And now push into your hands. Push in through your toes. Tuck your chin in and downward facing dog. Here again. Move the body. Move the joints. As Dharmaji says, if you stop moving, you're in big trouble. So you just try to keep the body moving. Practice. Stay warm. The belly comes through your thighs. If you're very flexible, maybe the top of the head comes down. If you're even more flexible, your nose, maybe even your chin down without bending your arms. Be like a dog loyal to its master. Exhibit that loyalty through your pose. Now from here, come back up, your head up off the ground, it fills up. Lift the heels, bend the knees, look between your hands. Hold your breath, hop or walk your feet forward, pull the body down onto your legs. Come right up and arch back. As you see fit, hands back to the heart. Up again, reach up, uncoil. And then fold back down the body in half.
Head close to the feet. Lift the head and chest, press into your hands. Again, back into chaturanga and usually like upward facing dog. And this time, if you can, roll between the two poses, transition into downward facing dog immediately. And then as you reach there, come back the other way. Round your back as you're trying to push your heart between your shoulder blades. And then out through the center of the chest. Back the other way. Good. If it's too much, you can just do it once even. Just, again, move in a way that offers the best experience for you and therefore for others. Back the other way, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out again. Make like that loyal dog. Find all the divine qualities. Tap into them. They're within you as well. You just have to turn them on. And now lift the heels, bend the knees, hold your breath. Bring your feet forward lightly, hopping or walking. Pull the body down onto your legs. Come right up to standing, reach up and back. And then come back home. Take a deep breath in from the heart up to the crown. Imagine all the love going up. And hold the breath. Imagine now that you're sending that love everywhere to all beings. Not just those who are easy to love, not just your loved ones, all beings everywhere. Now exhale back to the heart, remain established in the hearts of all beings. Good. Release all beings, reflect all the different qualities of God in their own unique way. So now, standing on your left foot, we'll do some balance poses now. Take hold of the right heel if you can, and then bring the foot out to this side. The arm comes out at the same time. So you try to keep your fingers and toes in the same line. You might look like a T, the letter T, or if you're more flexible, bring the foot a little bit higher, close to the shoulder, lean to your left. Try to get your leg close to your shoulder. Advanced practitioners, if you like, you can see if you can pull the foot across, take the foot in your left hand, push with the back of the shoulder into the back of the knee, and get your legs straight up. If you flex your foot, it might be a little bit easier to keep your balance and take your right arm out. Just a variation. And from here, break the pose, bring it down gracefully. And then the other side. So try to fix your gaze on a point on the ground if you're having trouble balancing, or stand against the wall. So you stand, you bring your gaze to a point about 3 feet in front of you on the ground. Something that doesn't move is always good. And again, come into the shape of the ballet dancer. Poised, graceful. If you're having trouble balancing, you flex the foot, push through the base of the toes. Every pose has its little tricks. With constant practice, you find them. Or raise the leg up higher, and if you're more flexible, take the foot in your right hand, and then push with the back of the left arm, and then take it out to the side as well. Good. Right, so we're having lots of different variations here. Okay, so you can just hold the foot, or if it's too much, you can even hold the back of the knee. And then try to extend through the inner leg muscles. And then come down. Good, now we're going to try another sequence. So we're going to start off in hummingbird. Bend your knees, bring your belly on your thighs. And start with the index fingers on the ground on either side of the mat. Slide the right foot back and bring the right foot up. Rest your belly on your thigh. Now fix your gaze again on the point in front of your foot, and then hold your breath so you can get your index fingers up off the ground. If you can extend your arms right over your head, so hands on top of your shoulders. Well, if you want, you can extend the leg, and maybe if you can, interlace your fingers, open up the palms, toppling tree, you're falling towards your toes. You try to lift your chest a little bit, arch your back. But your head's about the height of the knee, your foot's higher than the head. Good. Good, now from here, press into your left foot, hold your breath, come up. Into angel. Bring your arms out to the side, pull them back. Get a sense of body flow. Your chest comes forward, your head comes up and eventually back. And spread your wings like you're a messenger of God. Open yourself up to divine grace. If you need to, you can just plant your right toe on the ground. And then break the pose. Come out of the pose. Just have to keep visualizing yourself in the form. Merge with them. Let's try on the other foot now. So think of that small little bird, the hummingbird. Make yourself as compact as possible. Your belly on your thighs. Start with your index fingers on the ground if you like. Bring the left foot back and then up. Point the toe. Heels close to the seat. Keep pushing your belly into your thigh. Hold your breath and just see if you can float your fingers up off the ground, your index fingers. Eventually, you can take your arms up over the head. The head comes about the height of the knee. You can stay here or extend your leg, toppling tree. Point the toes. Make sure you point the toes to make it look pretty. So you don't break the line from the top head to the foot. No discontinuities. Try to arch your back a little bit. Push the left foot up and back. Good, now press into that right foot. Hold your breath and come up. Spread your wings. Push your chest forward. Slowly bring your head up and back. Oops, if you lose your balance, you can take your left toe to the ground. Whatever happens, remain unconcerned. Just do your best. Just dance the gunas, remember. Break the pose, bring the left foot down. Now from here, let's move on. Standing in the middle of the mat, facing on the long edge of the mat. When you go to your left, if you can't see the screen, just turn around 180 degrees. Now bring your fingertips on the same lines as your elbows. Jump your feet apart. Turn to your left, move your left foot forward. Turn your left foot forward and then try to get your seat down nice and low. Eventually your knees over the toes. If you swing the right arm down, your fingers will touch the ground eventually if your hips are nice and low. Come forward with a sense of purpose and direction. Now bring the right arm forward to meet the other one. Virabhadrasana 1. Allow the head to go back. The back knee stays low, but if you are hip is still stuck turned to the right and you can't turn it easily, you can lift the back heel. Good. Now back to Warrior 2. From here, join hands behind the back. Pull the hands down, the head goes back, and then from here, lift your seats a little bit, just a little bit. You want to have your hips still on the same lines of knee. Push the left knee out, and see if you can get your head down to the ground for humble warrior. Exude the humility, the surrender. If it's too much, you can bring the right hand on the ground. You can even bring your right knee on the ground. So all the different things you can do to make the pose more accessible. Then from here, break the pose, bring hands down on the ground, and from here, lift the head. Slide the right toes back as much as you can. Walk the left foot out to the edge of the mat and fall to the right. See if you can get your right hip and your right elbow to come down, and then roll back to your left. If your hip is very high from the ground due to a tightness in the hip, you can stay on your hands, but see if you can sink your hips down. Feels like you had big rocks in your hip pockets. And then eventually, if you get the sense you're doing a cobra, eventually your hips will come down maybe, and maybe the rest of the body will come down. If you're on the forearms, try to make it down on your belly and then your chest eventually. Eventually the knee is higher than the rest of the body. Keep your left knee close to the shoulder. You have to move your foot so you find the straight line from the knee down to the heel. If you're very flexible, maybe your shoulder is on the foot, you're flat on the ground. back up onto your hands. From here, move your left foot in. Walk it over to the right. Come into pigeon pose. So if you can, your foot's in line with the knee and just rocks from side to side. Try to get a little bit more weight to come into the right front of the hip. And then hold the foot with your right hand, slide your left arm all the way forward. Your chest comes down onto the front leg. Front of the right hip comes down. If you feel the right hip is still not like if both sides are not equally down, try to tip a little bit, lean to the right a little bit so you can get the front of the right hip down. Now from here, coming back up, pull a foot right in towards the front of the hip. Upright pigeon. Push your hands into your seat, pull down at the same time. Use your fingertips to guide the movement of the spine so it stays long, no crunching the lower back. Imagine you're trying to take all the wrinkles out of the skin from underneath your hands. So stretch the skin of the back, allow the head to drop back. Those who know other variations can go ahead. So you might be able to slip your left arm over your back and find the big toe. Or you can see if you can bring the right knee up, right foot up, push the finger, thumb into the back of the knee, and use your other hand to cup around the knee, and maybe your foot will come to your head. So any variation you like here, advanced practitioners, Rajakapatasana. If you're having trouble with balance, try bringing a block or cushion underneath your left side of your hip, your seat. Okay, now break the pose. And from here, coming back up, bring your knee up and move your foot again in alignment so that your knee is over the heel. Drop your seat right down, Kapiyasana. Bring your arms up and then join your hands together if you can. Rock your shoulders back and forth. Crescent moon. Make the shape of a crescent moon. Visualize the index fingers going over the back toe. Stretch the body out of the hips again. No folds in the lower back. Curl the tail under. If you need to modify, you can either take hold of your opposite elbows and push your head back into the arms. But keep holding the body about the hips or hands to the front knee. Allow the head to drop back. Keep pressing the heart up, away from the seat. Good. And then bring your body upright. Hands to the front knee. Push your way up. The legs are like a box here now. The heel is over the back, the back of the knee. The toes are bent under in the back foot. Right arm up. Angle the toe and the knee towards the right and bring the arm to the outside of the leg. The armpit staying on the outside of the knee. Left hand pushes into the right. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see. So again, you bring the right arm right down onto the outside of the knee. Left hand starts at the shoulder, but as you push down hard, the body comes up higher, so the center of the chest comes towards the thumbs. You try to keep the center of the chest behind your thumbs as you roll the left shoulder all the way back. Pull the left hip back, the top of the head forward. And make it as though you're lying on your back. If you have more flexibility still, take the bind. So your arm has to be sitting on the leg, your elbow close to the front, the shin, and push your hip back to give you a little bit more space for the arm to move underneath the leg. And take the left arm, move the back, pull the head out from underneath a little bit more. Join your hands underneath the belly. You can take the left wrist to your right hand. Pull the left shoulder back again. All the way, if you can, take the back knee up off the ground. Lift. Hold the breath as you lift the knee. Really push through the right heel and the base of the toes. Now break the pose. Bring the right hand down. And from here, spin towards the left. Come onto the outer edge of the foot. Slide your left foot back. You need to just keep it crossed in front of the other one or stack your feet. Vasisthasana. If it's too much, lower down on the right knee. Push your hips forward and up. And then come back into plank. Go on the other hand now. On the left hand, left foot. The hand is a little in front of the shoulder. Make sure you don't drop into your shoulder. Keep your neck long, your arm fully extended. Hand into your plank, side plank, or other variations. Right foot on top of the left, or left knee down. Start this basic one. Can get fancy later on. Just imagine yourself as part of the collective consciousness moving like a school of fish all together. And then back into high plank. Good. So from here, left foot moves between your hands and spin towards the long edge of the mat. Arms out to the side and come up. Go to the other side now. Right foot turns forward and sink down to the seat. Exude all the qualities of a warrior. And then spin the left arm up to meet the right. Again, you can lift the heel if you want. Try to keep your hips nice and low. Work the hips a little bit. You can make some efforts, otherwise don't make progress. In 20 years, you're still in the same place. So challenge yourself to go to the edge of your potential every time. Now from here, take your hands behind the back, pull the hands down, bring your head back as the hands pull down, and then here, humble warrior. So come forward, you have to go, spin the left foot out a little bit, pull the left hip out. You have to go to your left a little bit so that you can slide down without getting obstructed by your knee. Your shoulder passes the inside of the knee. And your arms can go over the head. If it's too much, you can bring your left hand down, and you can bring your left knee down as well. And if, so do according to your conditions. Some might have their knee in the shoulder. If that's where you find stability, that's okay. Go there. And then release. Hands on the inside of the foot, left knee down. Walk the right foot out a little bit more, so you can see. So you make sure your knee is not falling out to the side, nor this is happening with your right hip all the way up and your knee close to the shoulder and your foot out to the side. Try to keep the foot and the knee on the same line so the sit bone points straight down. And keep moving forward again. Stay on your hands if your hips are very high from the ground, but keep on sinking your hips down. From here, if you're anchored down through the hips, the rest of the body will eventually follow. Eventually the chest will come down. Use your breath to take the edge off, to move deeper with each inhale. Lengthen with each exhale. Go deeper. Expand through the breath, just like the voice of the teacher who expands your mind. Use your breath the same way. Think of the breath as the voice of God, the inner gurus teaching you. But now come back onto the hands, and from here move your foot to your left, pigeon. Rest the thigh on the ground and just rock from side to side. Try to get more weight to come into your left side so the left hip will sink down. If you can, the foot's on the same line as the knee, and then adjust as you need to, of course. Hold on to your left foot and slide the right arm forward. Your chest lands on the leg in front, perhaps. Incline a little bit towards the left if your left hip is not fully down, and imagine you're pouring more weight into that side, that side of the hip. Getting ready to break the pose, coming back. Now move the foot right in. Your hip is on the same line, your knee's on the same line as your hip. Okay, so then you can bring hands to the back body on the seat. Push the heels of palms down into the seat and push up the fingertips. Make your hands like spacers, creating lots of space underneath your hands. Stretching the skin smooth so there's no wrinkles in the lower back. And you can stay here, allow your head to drop back between your shoulder blades, or you can do any other variation you know, maybe your king pigeon. So you can take your hand to the knee, press your thumb into the back of the knee, and use your other fingers around the outside knee to cup around the knee, and try to get the foot to the head. You have to extend your head up. Okay, so that's the start of it. And if you know the king pigeon, go ahead. You take the big toe with, I have to turn this way, I suppose. So make sure your knee's a little bit in front of the body a little bit. So you can take your outer edge of the foot, thumb in the base of the toes, and the fingers around the outside of the foot, and then push your elbow up the height of the shoulder so that you can just roll it up so there's no strain. And then the other hand comes to the foot. Break the pose. From here, come up with your right knee again, Kapiyasana. So place the foot, depending on flexibility. You might have your shin completely vertical. If you have no palms to your knees, your knee goes a little bit beyond your toes. This might allow you to go a little bit deeper. Pull the arms up. So imagine your arms are attached to everything inside the body above the hips. Stretch your line. Make sure you're not crunching the lower back. A beautiful expression of offering here. Kapiyasana. Radiate your inner light. And then break the pose, bring the hands down onto your knee. Press yourself back upright. Bend the toes under on the back foot. Your legs are like a box here. Left arm up and go down. Swoop right down. Rest the armpit on the outside of the right knee. Hands together and then push your way up by pressing the right hand into the left. Use a fist if you like. Have more power. So, not like this with your hands at the shoulder. You have to keep pushing down until the center of the chest comes behind your thumbs. And then you have more room to spin. The right shoulder goes back, the face and chest turn up. If you know, of course, the other variations, move your seat back. Allow your right hand to guide the left arm underneath the leg. And then throw your right arm over the back. Join your hands together and take the back knee up off the ground. Hold the breath. Keep the back leg strong. Okay? Sorry, gotta move a little bit back on the mat. So if you move too fast, you lose your balance. Be undisturbed, unjudging whatever happens. And from here, break the pose. Bring the hands back down to the ground. From here, push the seat all the way back, downward facing dog. Into Vasisthasana again. Maybe this time you can go a little bit into your variations if you know them. Bring your left hand more towards the right. Come into Vasisthasana again. And slide the right toes back. Slide your left foot in. Make sure that you're pushing your hip up and forward, away from the hand, the left hand that's supporting you. The left arm stays nicely long. No falling into your shoulder. If the base of the big toe is down, then it's easier to take up the foot. And then you can catch the knee with the reach, take hold of the foot. Or you can just stop here. If you're doing on the knee, you can do other things too. Raise the leg up, take hold of the foot. Lots of different expressions. and then pull the heel towards the seat, depending what you're doing, and come back into table or into plank and downward facing dog. Go to the other side now. So move the right hand more towards the left. Go to your left on the right hand and right foot. And then see if you can go a little bit deeper if you want. Slide your left toes back. Slide your right foot in a little bit. Your hip has to be very high to find the stability. The base of the big toe grounded, the right foot at a 45-degree angle. And then it makes it easier to take the weight up off the left foot. So you can take it up and then hold the knee or take hold of the foot. Break the pose gracefully. Spin on the right heel of the palm. If you're doing one of the more advanced variations, back into downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. I was actually facing the wrong way, I think. So the right foot comes between your hands and then spin on the long edge of the mat. Come all the way back up. Good. Here, easy Chakrasana. Turn the toes out so that they're beyond the edges of the mat. Hands on the seat. Bend your knees so that your knees land over your toes. And bend your knees quite a bit. Push your hands into seat, pull down. The lower you are, the little bit more steadiness you have. And then curl the tail under. Now here, if you feel comfortable, slide hands one at a time down the legs until you find them just below the knees. Push the heels of your palms into the knees, and the thumbs go further through between your knees as you roll the thighs outwards and roll the shins inwards. And then push your hips forward to straighten the legs. Roll the thighs outwards, roll the shins inwards as always. If you're more flexible, you can walk your hands down the backs of the legs. Maybe some of you will step on your fingers with your heels. Now return, bring your hands back onto up one at a time. Walk them back up onto your seat and push into your seat. Pull down, tuck your chin in and come up. Prasarita Padottanasana. Turn your heels out a little bit so their edges of the feet are parallel. Arms up to this side. And from here, come down. Hinge at the hips. Bring your hands to the ankles. If you can step on your fingers with the edges of your feet. And so you can pull your body right between your legs. Try to get your head on the ground, the top of the head. More flexible, try to bring your body through a little bit more. Imagine getting the back head in line with your heels and your chest comes behind your legs. Those of you who are want to go into an inversion here of some sort, you can go ahead. You can place your hands down in tripod and come up into headstand, or you can do forearm or handstand, whatever you like here. So again, know what you're doing, know your abilities. If you're doing headstand, you start here, fingers behind your heels. Your arms are upper arms at right ankle to your left with your lower arms, and bring your legs up. We're not staying here too long. And come back down. So as you come back down, engage your legs so that when your legs come closer down to the ground, pull the thighs as though you try to get them in line with your body, side body, and place your feet down exactly where they started. And from here, lift head and chest, arms up to the side, and come all the way up. Good. Now from here, jump your feet back together, stand tall like a mountain in Tadasana. From the base of the spine, imagine the base of the mountain. Inhale all the way up to the crown, which is like the summit. Exhale back down to the base of the spine. Feel, remain solid, unshakable, and unmovable in your practice, just like a mountain. Good. And now come down onto your knees. Gomukhasana. So you have, I'll demonstrate this. If you can't do what I'm about to show you, you can just sit down on your heels just like that, or on a bolster if you need. Otherwise, if you can, bring the right foot forward, and then from here, just slide the toes out to your left, and bring your shin on the ground. Your other knee's right behind, swing the toes out, or bring your hands forward first, and then sit down, and then just adjust your feet. So you're sitting between your heels. Your knees are right on top of another, so pull on the feet a little bit until you find them right on top, in alignment. The right arm up, and bring the left hand up to the elbow, push it up and back. The hand is pushing to the back of the heart from underneath and from behind, like you're trying to raise it up as an offering. If you can, if you have the shoulder mobility, you can take your left arm up the back, join your hands together, lock the fingers together, and pull the hand down the back more. Lift the gaze without tensing up the eyes or the face. Try and move your elbows one on top of the other with the head in between. Tuck your chin in, bring the right elbow down and release. From here, walk back. Untangle the legs, bring the knees one beside the other, and come up. Do it the other way now. Your left foot in front, and then slide your toes out to the right and bring your knee down. And then from here, just push your right knee right into the back of the left. Swing your foot out to your left and then sit back down. And then you can adjust your feet. So you want to be equally grounded on both sides of the seat. Your knees again, one on top of the other. And then the left arm comes up. Bring the left elbow up. And the right hand to the left elbow. Push it up and back. Push into the back of the heart. And you can either stay here, that's where you're finding your edge already, or take your hands together. Lock your fingers together and pull the hands down. Try to get your elbows again to line up one on top of the other. And then from here, break the pose, release, shake it out. Now from here, we're going to come into headstand, Shilshasana. So if you know what you're doing, then go ahead. You don't have to wait. Otherwise, if you want some options here, there's a few different ones. So I personally like this one because it allows you to find a balance a little bit more easily. Your head's on the ground, your fingers are wide beyond the edges of the mat. Stay on the fingertips. The wrist towards you, the other fingers extended away, equal distance apart. So sometimes the thumb is way away from the others. Try to have them equally spaced. Bring the seat up. And from here, bring one leg back as far as you can. So with this open position with your hands wide, not beside your head, way out in front, you give a little bit more room so that when you bring your leg up and bend the foot back, it's a little bit easier to get the foot further back so you can find your balance. Okay, so move slow, don't jump up, just move slowly. You can even just pulse up and down, up off the foot, off the heel. And when you're ready to come up, hold the breath, make sure you're on top of the head, and then bend your toes back away from the ground. So again, this is an easier position to achieve because the body is nice and open. Good, come up. Peel the fingers off one at a time until you're just on the index finger of the nail, the fingernail even. And then coming back down. Release in child's pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good, roll your way up. Next one. Now if you have the ability, or if you don't have, if it's too hard to have your head on the ground because it hurts, because or you have any you can't have any pressure on your head, then you keep your head lifted. You can do this against the wall if you like. So you place yourself place yourself so that you're facing a wall. So you place your feet on the wall, imagine, and then you bring your elbows down below your elbows. Your forearms are close to your knees. You don't move your elbows, you just move your hands out. Interlace your fingers and place your head down. And from here, you lift your seat. You place one foot on a wall. It's hard for me to do this without a wall there, but imagine you have a foot on a wall. So you have a little give. Your knees should be able to bend easily and touch the wall without stretching your legs straight out. So your knees should be bent so you can pull your toes away from the wall. The other foot's hanging back towards your seat. Okay, so then you just pull your toes away from the wall every once in a while just to get the sense of the balance. Now, though as you can see if you can bring your head up off the ground. So right time the head's flat on the ground for this. Heels, palms down. Push into your arms, hold the breath, and lift your head. It's much easier to do this when your legs are split, one leg in front, one leg back. So those of you who, as Dharma Ji calls professionals, you can see if you can lift your head up and down a few times. Okay, so different things you can do. Give it a try. If it's too much, you just keep your head on the ground, forehead on the knees, and just lift your seat up until your hips are over the knees. If it's too much, stretch on the back of the neck. It's very, very, very uncomfortable. You can't sustain it. Just move your head forward a little bit so you're on the top of the head as opposed to the back of the head. So try for about 20 more seconds. Okay, so if you're doing a forearm balance or the headstand, your elbows are closer than the shoulders. If you keep winging them out, then the body's just going to keep sinking down. So bring your elbows in a little bit closer, really lock into the forearms, really push them down. Spread your fingers and press down through the base of the heels of the palms, the base of the fingers, and the finger pads. This will help you. You control with those fingertips, like spider pads on a wall. Okay, so one leg in front, drop your front leg heavily towards the ground in front of you. Hold your breath and just tip your head forward. Roll your head up, your chin up. And then come down. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. All fatigue. And relax everything. And now come up. We're going to roll onto our backs now. So starting at the top of the mat. Roll back, push into your arms as your legs go up, and then maybe you can get your legs behind your head. If you can, get your arms behind your back. Try to move your hands together, your wrists together, your elbows coming close. And try to move your feet as far back behind your head as possible. And then when you place your hands on the back, your arms will be completely behind your body. Raise one leg up. Take your time to really stretch it up as though you're trying to touch the ceiling with your toes. And then you bring your other leg up. So find that straight line. If it's too much, your arms aren't completely behind your back, you're up to the side a little bit of the body. You can just stay with your legs angled. Or if it's too much, you can just keep your knees close to your shoulders. Okay. Move into the pose where you can find steadiness. Where you can fix your mind, merge with the infinite being within. If you have a lotus, go ahead, take your lotus. And then if you're right on top of the shoulders, you can even take your hands to your thighs. Try to push your knees up so that they're higher than the hips. Really push your hips forward. Nothing to do, nowhere to go but deeper within.
Now moving into Pindasana, if you have a lotus, you bring your thighs right against your body, and then you can wrap your arms around the outside of the legs, join your hands underneath the seat. If you don't have a lotus, come back to plow pose. Don't land the big heavy landing. Control the landing so you come down softly and smooth. And if you like, you can drop your thighs against your body and your knees on either side of the head. Withdraw from all the inputs that are coming in from those sense organs, the eyes and the ears. Shut them off. Now from here, getting ready to come into boat pose, not boat, actually why not boat pose? So from here, if you can, take hold of the backs and knees. If you want more flexibility, more strength, you take your hands, you lock your index, your two piece fingers and your thumb around the big toe. We're going to try to come into Navasana while still holding the feet without letting the feet drop in between. Okay, so hold your breath and then come up. Try not to bend your legs in between. Maybe do it a couple more times if you need to. So you can roll back again. Feet behind your head. Again, this is not working for you, you can just take hands to your knees, backs and knees, and roll up. Okay, if you need to put your feet down, no big deal. So just roll back and forth a few times. And try to find your way. Hold your breath until you can come back to boat pose here. And then you can either keep your knees bent or straight up, or still hold the bind to your toes. And now from here, fast streaker breath, push the base toes, you've got the big toes. Now from here, lower the legs and then lower down. Hold on to back legs if you need to, and roll your head down. From here, tip to one side, you can get your hand underneath the seat, and tip to the other side, you can move your other hand. And from here, push your elbows closer together, pull the shoulders back, and then lift your chest up. Your legs are now 45 degrees, just lower them as you need to get them about halfway down. And then here you can bring your top head down. If this is too much, bring your legs right on the ground. Fast streaker breath again. Breathe very fast to the nose. Now from here, bring your feet right on the ground. If they're on the ground, slide them in close to your seat. This is an option, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Take your hands out from underneath, don't move your head. Bring your fingertips on either side of the head, then lift your hips up, hold your breath, and just bounce your head back a little bit closer towards your heels. Turn your hands around so that your fingers are facing the heels now, and slightly winged out to this side. And from here, hold the breath, take a half breath in, and hold your breath if you need to come up into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Lift your heels and stretch the body, you can rock back and forth. If this is too much, just come into bridge pose. Your back of the head stays on the ground, the shoulder stays on the ground, but just lift your seat. Okay, so just in case you're not sure what I mean, for bridge pose, the head's on the ground and just rock your shoulders underneath, lift your hips. Bring your chest towards your chin as much as you can, so the center of the chest looks like a wall. Okay, for those in Urdhva Dhanurasana, stay a little bit longer if you can. Press it with your toes, rock back and forth, try to get your arms in front of your chest. You can try to bring it to the wall in front of you. Stretch, suppose that exercise your stamina. Try to stay a little bit longer, as Dharmaji does. Stay until you shake. Sometimes it's what you need to work the nervous system a little bit. And then lower down. Softly. Come down onto your back. Breathe in and breathe out. Take a deep breath in. Imagine you're fainting. Let go of all fatigue. And now from here we're going to take the right leg up, ankle grasp. So take the right knee to the shoulder, raise right leg up, and take hold of the ankle here. If you need to, you can slide your left foot in. Foot still flat on the ground, but your knee is raised a little bit. And then pull the right leg closer to you. Try to get your foot close to your head. Good. If you're very flexible, you can see if you can try to get your foot right down to the ground beside your head. The leg slips a little bit out to your right so that the knee is more or less in the armpits. This looks like a pose we did before, standing. A version of ballet pose. But we're just on the ground, so again, find the similarities. And if you can do one pose, chances are maybe you'll realize the other one more easily. So look for the common ground. Now from here, bend the knee, half happy baby pose. Pull the knee down, just beside your body, underneath your arm, your heel over the back of the knee. Well, if you can go further, you can bring your leg right across the chest, like an upside down pigeon. Again, something we saw before, earlier in a practice. If you want, you can take the foot in the crook of the arm and try to get your leg close to the collarbone. Your elbows a little bit underneath the right knee, and you just pull everything up. Now from here, bring the foot back. Slide your left foot in if you need to. If you can, see if you can bring your right shoulder in front of the leg now. And bring the right knee up a little bit so it comes closer to the ear. You have to raise the right side of the chest, the hip a little bit. As you're working towards getting your leg behind head or know how to get into it, go ahead. Peel your shoulders up off the mat, push the foot behind. Again, you just anchor the leg in place, and then you might be able to move, tug on the foot, and bring the head up so that, and your chin in so you can get your leg more easily behind your head. Do the modifications or the stretches to prepare if you're not quite there yet. No attachment to results. Constant practice. Perhaps eventually the body will obey. Then release that side. Take a moment to breath in between. Breathe in. Exhale. Let go of all effort, all tension. Then do the other leg. Left leg comes up. Take hold of the foot. Bring the knee onto the shoulder and pull the foot towards the head best as you can. Slide the right foot in if you need to a little bit to release if you have very tight hamstrings. Otherwise, if you're very flexible, try to get your foot down right beside your body. From here, maybe half happy baby pose. Bend the knee again, the heel over the back of the knee. Push down with your hands, try to get your knee down right in the armpit. Then across the chest for pigeon, rock back and forth. And then, of course, if you like, bring your right foot in if you need to, and then even come right into tuck with the right knee. Push your left shoulder in front of the knee. Push it into the back knee so the knee gets higher, close to the ear. And then from here, tuck your chin in, peel your shoulders up off the mat, push your foot back, You have to straighten the leg a little bit, tug it towards the right, and then it might find its way a little bit more easily behind the head. It just sort of visualize where the leg is going, how to get it there. So you have to straighten the leg and bring it back, and then behind, a little bit easier, create more space. With constant practice, you find more tricks to come into the poses with more ease and to sustain them with more ease. Break the pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then make your way up to seated position. Good. From here, cross your ankles. Alright, so from here, let's come into Cobra. If you need to, hold on to the edge of the mat. You tug on the edge of the mat. You just lift your chest and you keep pulling on the mat. As you're stretching the mat, you're trying to push your chest forward as well. Bottom from the hips down stays grounded. If you can, eventually lift your elbows up off the mat, and bit by bit you can let go of the mat, walk them closer, the hands closer to you. Curve your back. Up a little bit higher each time you move your hands. Shoulders back, imagine your head going over the seat. Your feet are together like the tail of a snake. But you can come onto your fingertips. Push into the fingertips. So now the trunk is up off the ground, just the tops of your legs are in contact with the ground. Open up your legs if you like. If you want to try King Cobra, really pushing the fingertips, get your body up high, stretch it. Bring your feet up, point the toes, imagine squeezing socks behind the knees. Bring your toes towards the head. And then when your toes find the head, you can drop your heels, the palms down. Break the pose. Come down. Forehead on the hands, breathe in. Breathe out. Either one more cobra. If you feel ready to do so, you can do Dhanurasana. Bend your knees now. If you, easier way to get into is bring one arm across, the left arm, let's say, across the front, and take the foot. Bring the foot up high, and once you have that foot, you keep on pulling actively with that of the bound foot, and then your other foot will come more easily up. Okay, so you can stay on your thighs if you need to, and then just push your feet away from your head, flex your feet. But if you keep pulling, eventually your thighs will come up off the mat. Rock a little bit if you like. Eventually, you might be able to come right onto your knees. Hold it a little bit longer again. Pull the feet up, look up, you might be able to see your toes eventually. Surrender to the pulse. And then bring your feet back down close to the seat, release, breathe in. Breathe out. Hands underneath the shoulders, come back to seated position. Bring your legs out in front. Right foot across the other side of the left leg with the foot somewhere between the knee and the ankle. Left hand right beside behind the center of the back. Left arm up, and then push the arm against the outer thigh. Inhale, push forward, back up and in. Turn to the right, revolve around the right arm. Try to feel the twists coming from the base of the hips all the way up. Visualize the spine spiraling upwards. And maybe the body will turn more effectively with that visualization. Not just the eyes that turn, the whole trunk.
And then return, go to the other side. Left leg on the outside, left foot on the outside of the right leg. Right arm up. So don't lean back like this. This want to have the hand right against the back, the seat. Eventually your chin comes over the shoulder when you twist. You're pressing actively the knee into the shoulder, into the elbow into the knee. Good. And then release, come down onto the back softly. No big, heavy landings. All the movements mindfully. And then rest on your back. And take a deep breath in. Exhale. Starting to feel the tension drain out of the body. So you inhale. Just imagine you're collecting all the heaviness, all the tension that you feel, not only in the physical sense, the mental and the emotional planes as well. Anything that feels that's weighing you down, that's a burden on your heart, or your mind, or your body. Exhale, just imagine you're attracting it all to the center of the body and then just dropping it right out. Be rid of all that which impedes you in some way. Shavasana is a method of purification. You had to visualize all the impurities draining out of the body. And we helped it along through the physical practice, through the postures, through generating the heat that helps to melt away those impurities. But now we're doing it here as well by just letting go of it mentally. Just visualizing all that leaving your being and making you feel light and open and empty so that you can collect even more. So as you inhale, bring in the best of the best of the universe. Imagine it all coming to you. The best is all coming to you. What's ahead of you is amazing. Especially when you keep an observance of the ethical rules and you conduct yourself in a way that is loving and kind. That doesn't remove the contentment and the happiness of others around you, or the comfort. Stay with that and touch a noise. But trying to be compassionate towards all beings. Keep on improving your compassion. It exists on many, many, many levels, infinite levels. Keep moving deeper and deeper into your true nature, which is absolutely limitless in its compassion, like the sun that shines on everything equally. Now, prepare to take that into the world now. Prepare to come back to a seated position, always doing so mindfully, slowly, reverently. We'll close the practice by chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, and still this peace within, send out to all beings everywhere. Om
Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the grace of God. All is within. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful day. Much love to you.